Right now, 3 Baraboo officers are under investigation after a drug dealer's arrest earlier in the week. What law enforcement is telling us tonight. Plus, Madison police investigate an apparent homicide. The alleged suspect turning himself in, what officers believe may have happened. And with the Democratic National Convention next week, Vice President Kamala Harris gives her first major policy pitch to voters. It's all ahead on News 3 Now at 10. Thanks for joining us tonight. 3 Baraboo police officers are under investigation due to their alleged ties to a suspect accused of drug trafficking. Armand Rahman breaks down what we know so far. Armand?
Yeah, Eric, it all started after Sauk County Sheriff's deputies busted a 37-year-old Baraboo man for drugs, guns, and other evidence of selling cocaine and other substances after searching 3 different properties in the Baraboo area as part of an ongoing investigation. That man was arrested Tuesday and is in Sauk County Jail. Baraboo Police Chief Rob Sinden says that same day he was notified that 3 of his officers were allegedly affiliated with the suspect. An administrative investigation started but can't be completed before the Department of Justice's Division of Criminal Investigation is done looking into the alleged drug sales. One Baraboo officer has been placed on administrative leave, and the Sauk County Sheriff's Office did not specify if the Baraboo Police Department assisted in that drug arrest. And we're not naming the suspect because he has not been formally charged. I reached out for further comment from Baraboo Police, who declined due to the investigation being active. I asked the Sauk County Sheriff if any other law enforcement officials are under investigation. I have not heard back as of this broadcast.
Armand, thank you. Police say a woman is dead, a man in custody after a murder on Madison's northeast side. Officers arrested 42-year-old Terrence Davis this morning after he turned himself into police. They say Davis came to the department just before 9 this morning and reported that he had injured the victim overnight and believes she may be dead. This led police to the victim's apartment where they found the victim's body. Madison Police Chief Sean Barnes says the death is a result of domestic violence, an issue the department is currently exploring new ways to address.
We're currently restructuring our investigative services unit. We're creating a family justice unit because usually these things happen over a period of time, and we want to make sure not only that persons are held accountable, but that we, as the first early identifiers of domestic violence, can provide services.
Now, this is the 3rd homicide reported in Madison this year. Chief Barnes says the suspect is cooperating with police so far. He is currently booked in the Dane County Jail. And domestic violence is, of course, a very sensitive subject, one that victims can have a hard time talking about. But there is help here in Madison. Domestic Abuse Intervention Services, or DAYS, located on the north side, has crisis specialists for anyone looking for help.
So to just be able to talk through with somebody who's not going to be judgmental, we don't have an agenda for somebody when they call us. We want to help them achieve safety in whatever way that looks like for them.
Now, if you are a victim of domestic violence or know someone, you can call their hotline, 608-251-4445, or you can text them, 608-420-4638. Both of these are available 24 hours a day. A man who was shot by police in Fitchburg earlier this week is dead. According to the Department of Justice, the 28-year-old died at a hospital yesterday afternoon. On Monday morning, officers were called to the Whispering Pines condominiums following a 911 hang-up. Officers allegedly found a couple having an altercation. Police said the man was armed with a knife and charged at officers, at which point one officer fired his gun and struck the man. The Division of Criminal Investigation continues to look into the shooting, and the officers involved have been placed on administrative leave. In Milwaukee, a judge is granting a lower bail to one of the 4 men charged with murder in the death of Devontae Mitchell. The 43-year-old was pinned to the ground outside a hotel for up to 9 minutes. 52-year-old Herbert Williamson was working as a bellman at the hotel. Today, the judge agreed with the state and the defense and lowered Williamson's bond to $5,000. He remains in custody with 2 other defendants in the case. The 4th defendant posted bail last week. All 4 are due in court on Monday. Turning now to weather, we could be in for some patchy fog tonight. Here's meteorologist Blaze Keller. He has our first warn forecast. Blaze?
That's right. Patchy fog after skipping out on the second day of potentially severe weather. It is going to be a bit breezy at times, so maybe in low-lying areas we see that fog, not necessarily widespread. Still dealing with some dying showers off into parts of Juneau and Adams County, northern parts of Juneau and Adams County, up near Rome, and we continue to see that shower activity move across parts of Columbia into Dodge County as well. Beginning to see some showers popping up and moving even further east of Beaver Dam all the way back into Partyville. The yellow, the oranges are more moderate shower activity. We also find one just to the south and east of Lowell. Otherwise, we're quiet. And again, we skipped out on that severe weather threat, but the humidity is still here, which is why we could see some fog as we go into your Saturday morning. But Future Track takes us into about that 5 o'clock time frame in your Saturday morning. Partly sunny conditions, and we're going to gradually clear those skies as we go throughout your Saturday, but we could still squeeze out a shower or two into the afternoon. Temperature-wise, 60s and 70s, not only in Dane County, but across southern Wisconsin. Here's a look at your Saturday planner from the start of the day to about 6 o'clock at night. We're going to track out where those showers could pop up tomorrow in your full forecast.
Blaze, thank you. 4 people and their pets are without a home this evening after a possible electrical fire. Madison fire crews were called to Balsam Road near Meadowood Park on the west side just before noon today after a resident woke to the sound of a smoke alarm. The person grabbed their 3 dogs and got out of that house. The Madison Fire Department investigation team says several electronics and cords were found near the start of where that fire started, the location of where the fire started. They think that could be a short in one of the electrical components there. Damages are estimated at about $75,000. Monona police say they arrested a Madison man for a 6th offense OWI early today. This after leading officers on a chase. The 24-year-old was seen speeding down the Beltline at about 1 in the morning. When officers tried to pull him over, the man allegedly sped off at speeds of up to 100 miles an hour. The man eventually exited the Beltline and stopped before taking off again. While driving along Vogues Road, the vehicle stopped after hitting a curb. The man was then arrested without incident. Republican vice presidential nominee, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, back in Milwaukee today for a campaign stop, and there he spoke to law enforcement at the Milwaukee Police Association headquarters. During that time, Senator Vance attacked Vice President Kamala Harris and her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, on the George Floyd riots, accusing Governor Walz of encouraging rioters to burn down Minneapolis. Senator Vance also criticized the vice president's border policy.
We are spending millions of dollars housing, sheltering, and providing medical care for people who shouldn't be here. Those are the people who have come in across Kamala Harris's wide open southern border.
Well, this is Senator Vance's 3rd trip to battleground Wisconsin within the last month. After the senator's visit to the Milwaukee Police Association, they endorsed the Trump-Vance campaign via the site X, formerly known as Twitter. Vice President Harris unveiling her campaign proposals on the economy. This happened in North Carolina today. Her first major policy pitch to voters includes cutting taxes, lowering the cost of groceries, and expanding housing opportunities. Willie James Inman reports from Washington.
Vice President Kamala Harris came to the election battleground state of North Carolina Friday to present her economic plan to voters.
Key to creating this opportunity economy is building up our middle class.
As inflation takes a toll on Americans' finances, Harris touted a federal ban on price gouging on food producers and grocers.
We all know that prices went up during the pandemic when the supply chains shut down and failed. But our supply chains have now improved, and prices are still too high.
On Thursday, former President Donald Trump called Harris's plan communist price controls, saying they don't work, but if they did, he would go along with them. During her remarks, Harris also laid out plans aimed at making homeownership a more attainable goal. She proposed up to $25,000 in down payment assistance for certain first-time home buyers, as well as tax incentives for builders of starter homes.
By the end of my first term, we will end America's housing shortage by building 3 million new homes and rentals that are affordable for the middle class.
The policies we've seen so far presented from both candidates would on net add to the national debt. I'm hopeful that they will put forward more policies and more specifics that turn that around.
Trump holds a Saturday rally in Pennsylvania, while Harris does a bus tour in the critical swing state on Sunday before heading to Chicago for next week's Democratic National Convention. Willie James Inman, CBS News, Washington.
And President Joe Biden will be the keynote speaker at the convention on Monday night. Meanwhile, Vice President Harris is set to hold an event in Milwaukee on the 2nd day of the Democratic National Convention on Tuesday. The rally will be held at Fiserv Forum, where the Republican National Convention, of course, took place last month. This will be her 7th visit to Wisconsin this year, 3rd since entering the presidential race. The Harris campaign also confirming today that Vice President nominee Tim Walz will join her there in Milwaukee. And next week, News 3 Now will be in Chicago for the Democratic National Convention. Convention. I'll be joined by Susan Simon along with Brady Mallory, and Charlotte DeLeste will join us for special coverage along with many of our reporters. We'll have team coverage of the event starting on Monday with News 3 Now this morning. Still ahead at 10, Blaze takes a look at the weekend weather and his complete first warn forecast, and a declaration by President Biden today marking the history of race riots that happened on this day 116 years ago just to our south. The story next. Stay with us.
Kamala Harris has taken on gang members to get justice for victims, taken on big banks to pay back people they ripped off, taken on drug companies to cap insulin at $35. Now she's running to take on greedy corporations who jack up prices to lower everyday costs for working families. They're spending millions on ads attacking her because she'd be a president who fights for you. FF PAC's responsible for the content of this ad.
The Make It Ford Summer Sales Event is on. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series, gas, hybrid, or all-electric. These are the deals you've been waiting for. So don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Make it Flex Buy on a new Ford F-150 and get 0.9% APR financing for 66 months plus $2,000 Flex Buy cash only at your local Wisconsin Ford dealer.
Get an 11% rebate from Menards. Update your home's exterior with Cedar Creek vinyl siding. This low-maintenance siding withstands the elements and is available in 16 color options, ready to install. Get an 11% rebate on Menards' unbeatable selection of roof coatings. Seal Best White Elastomeric Roof Coating restores your roof, stops leaks, and is backed by a 10-year warranty. Get a 4.75-gallon pail for just $74.99 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
Discover more ways to save on appliances at our Brothers Main bargain rooms. Get discounts on top brand closeouts, returns, and scratch and dents. Minor dings, major savings. Plus, you can take your purchase home today. Feel like family. Brothers Main.
Choosing to celebrate the special moments. For those recovering from stroke, injury, or illness, choosing Encompass Health for inpatient rehabilitation may just be their most important choice.
Kamala Harris has spent decades fighting violent crime. As a border state prosecutor, she took on drug cartels and jailed gang members for smuggling weapons and drugs across the border. As vice president, she backed the toughest border control bill in decades. And as president, she will hire thousands more border agents and crack down on fentanyl and human trafficking. Fixing the border is tough. So is Kamala Harris.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
News 3 Now brings you team coverage from the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. We'll talk to delegates about the issues that matter right here in Wisconsin. Campaign 2024 DNC coverage live from Chicago, starting Monday on News 3 Now.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10, moving forward.
Welcome back. President Joe Biden is signing a proclamation establishing the site of the Springfield, Illinois race riot as a national monument. It preserves some of the land where a horrific attack took place against the black community over 3 days back in 1908, just blocks from Abraham Lincoln's former home. A white mob lynched 2 black men and destroyed homes and businesses. The National Guard was sent in to stop the riot, which ended 116 years ago today. The tragedy spurred civil rights leaders to form the NAACP just a few months later.
We're allowing history to be written what happened. So our children, our grandchildren, everybody understands what happened and what could still happen.
A memorial at the site features sculptures that show 2 charred chimneys rising from the smoldering rubble of burned-out buildings. President Biden's proclamation comes just a few weeks since the fatal police shooting of Sonia Massey, a 36-year-old black woman from Springfield. Stargazers have plenty to look forward to. The next full moon will happen on Monday afternoon. The NASA officials are saying the moon will look full for 3 full days. The full moon will also be a supermoon and a blue moon. That's the name given to the third full moon in a season with 4 full moons. It's shaping up to be a beautiful weekend first. And here's Blaze with the complete forecast.
And we're going to continue to track this slow spinning low pressure system out of the Midwest as we move further into your Saturday, leaving us with those beautiful conditions to end your weekend and start off next week. We skipped out on our second chance for seeing severe weather here across central and southern Wisconsin. Now we're just left with a few showers up in Juneau and Adams County, south of Rome between us and Big Flats, and then off towards Remington, staying north of Necedah for now. Maybe tapping into a shower as we move further into the 10 o'clock hour, but for the most part, if it's not raining where you're at, you're probably not going to see any rain this evening. Beaver Dam back into Partyville, staying south of Cambria. We also find a more light to moderate shower, and then there just to the south and west and north of Watertown and south and west of Hustisford in Dodge County, we also find another shower. Again, we skipped out on that severe weather threat. A lot of that ingredients, the necessary ingredients for severe weather, was primarily along the Lake Michigan shoreline, but we just could not get it all to come together at the right time. Kind of the fickle nature of weather, if you will. But for folks who really didn't want another round of severe weather, potentially, this was great. We got some beneficial rain as this low pressure system that has been cut off from the jet stream continues to slowly spin its way through the Great Lakes. As we go overnight, we'll see mostly cloudy conditions at times, breezy at times as well, but we're going to dry out at least for now, and then maybe see some showers reignite as we go into your Saturday afternoon. Still pretty mild at this hour, upper 60s to low 70s across southern Wisconsin and across Dane County. Now you can download our mobile weather app so you can track out the showers that we could see tomorrow. After drying out mainly this evening, we're still going to stay breezy as we go into your Saturday. The reason is because we're moving in a new air mass, but we're not quite done with this low yet. And on the backside of low pressure systems, we could still see some showers. That is typical because there's still some leftover pockets of upward motion into the atmosphere. That's why we see very spotty showers on the backside of these lows. So not everyone is going to see the rain tomorrow. Again, you can track that out using our mobile weather app as you're going out and about on your Saturday. Maybe a thunderstorm or two, but the best chance is actually going to be further to the east. You're closer to that center of low pressure. So tomorrow's 70s, a northwesterly wind, breezy at times, becoming more sunny as we go throughout your afternoon. Bigger picture, though, a high pressure system is moving on in, and that's really going to set up shop as we go into your Sunday. But the cooler, more dry, comfortable air doesn't arrive until Monday. We do typically see that. It takes about a day once that cold front has passed and that high pressure system moves on in to move in that more comfortable air mass. And you're seeing that here. We'll go from 80 on Sunday into those upper 70s on Monday to those mid 70s Tuesday and Wednesday. And then it's a gradual climb back to those mid 80s by the start of that following week. So we're not quite done with summer yet, even though it has felt like fall here a couple of times over the last week or so. There was a look at your 7 and 10 day forecast. Rain chances pretty much diminishing here as we go into your Saturday. And we could, I think, the best chance see some showers and thunderstorms returning to southern Wisconsin will be Friday of next week and then that following Saturday as well.
All right, Blaze, thank you. You are never too old for a bucket list. A 102-year-old Wisconsin woman just became one of the oldest people to throw out a first pitch in a Major League Baseball game. She's a longtime Brewer fan and has now completed a lifelong dream. Megan Marshall reports.
Ruth Werning got her shining moment before Thursday's game against the Dodgers.
Brewers fans, please welcome 102-year-old superfan Ruth Werning.
The crowd went wild watching Werning strike out an item on her bucket list. I was lucky enough to catch up with her when she was still practicing for the big moment.
Oh, it's just exciting. I mean, not everybody 102 years old gets to throw a ball at the Brewer game.
I met her the day before at her apartment at Harwood Place, a senior living community in Wauwatosa.
I'm ready for that ball game.
She played the sport as a kid and has been a Brewers fan since she was 6 years old. That was 1928, when the Brewers were still just a minor league team in Milwaukee.
One more now, watch out.
Ruth's daughter lives nearby, but Ruth's oldest son came a long way to help her practice.
Yay, see, strike. I can throw them straight at you.
He flew in from Thailand to witness the big first pitch and a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity in person.
Mom has taught us not to be too surprised by the many adventures she gets into. This was a new one, though. Very exciting. I can't wait to share this with the rest of the family.
The staff at Harwood Place helped make this happen to celebrate the senior living community's 35th anniversary. They asked residents about their bucket list items and began a quest to make as many happen as possible.
Our whole goal at our organization at Harwood Place is to be able to make sure that everyone's current stage in life is as fulfilling as the rest of their life, and I think this really helps us bring some joy.
And as she rallied the crowd and her favorite team, Ruth proved age is just a number.
And still to come in sports, the Packers are out west this week. How it will prepare them for Jordan Love's second year under center. Next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
The burn pit at our base in Iraq had just shut down, but the poisons were around us everywhere. Back home, I got diagnosed with cancer, but the VA denied coverage to a lot of us who got sick. Tammy Baldwin knew that was wrong, and she wasn't going to let that stand. She worked with both parties to pass a law. So now, thousands of us exposed to toxic chemicals are getting the care that we deserve. It took a fight, but Tammy Baldwin, she's a hell of a fighter.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
Owning my own home is nice. You can just come home knowing that it's yours. It's a sense of pride, sense of ownership, and enjoying it with everyone I love and care for.
Make a lasting impact on local families in need. Please donate today.
Turn your old deck into dollars. You can trade in your old deck and earn cash back towards a brand new deck that is backed by our extensive lifetime warranty. All you have to do is visit TradeInMyDeck.com, answer a few quick questions, and you'll see your estimated trade-in value instantly. Visit TradeInMyDeck.com.
I'm Vice President of the National Border Patrol Council. America needs a commander-in-chief who's tough on illegal immigration. Kamala Harris fails that test.
We're not going to treat people who are undocumented and cross the border as criminals. That's correct. That is correct.
Kamala was Biden's border czar. She supported sanctuary cities and taxpayer benefits for illegal immigrants. And she created the worst border crisis in American history. Kamala Harris is dangerous.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Arby's is full of choices. Quick, you can get your favorite stuff, 3 for $5.
Pretty good.
Incredible value for a limited time. Reach in and eat whatever you grab. Arby's, we have the meats.
One size rarely fits all. That's why at Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we carry a huge selection of quality name brand jeans and pants. We're so confident we have the right brand, style, and fit for you that we'll give you a free $5 Blaine's Farm and Fleet gift card for every pair you buy. Like men's Rustler jeans, $15.99. $3 off these women's signature Levi's, $24.99. And shop store-wide savings like Rust-Oleum 2X spray paints, $4.99. Find your perfect pair of jeans for less at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
At RG Heating and Air Conditioning, our promise to you is 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Guaranteed service, repairs, and replacements. Installing quality Trane equipment. Trust your home with RG Heating and AC.
Kamala Harris has spent decades fighting violent crime. As a border state prosecutor, she took on drug cartels and jailed gang members for smuggling weapons and drugs across the border. As vice president, she backed the toughest border control bill in decades. And as president, she will hire thousands more border agents and crack down on fentanyl and human trafficking. Fixing the border is tough. So is Kamala Harris.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Hunt or be hunted. That's been Luke Fickell's message for his team all season. Whether it's the next guy in the depth chart or your opponent, in the game of football, somebody is always being hunted, and you don't want to be the one being hunted. The Badgers have gotten fully behind this rallying cry, embracing the challenge. Last year, the team admits sometimes it feels like they were the ones being hunted, and this year, they're doing the hard work it takes to be the hunters.
It's not just going to be handed to you, especially last year. We thought, once again, Coach Fick was going to come in. We were just kind of going to be able to walk into, 10-2 record or something, you know what I mean? But I think it really opened our eyes last year that, hey, we got to work. You know, every game's going to be a tough game, and every game you're going to have to go out there and earn it. You know, we feel like we got everything together more. We feel more confident about the offense and the defense. We feel like we have something to prove. You know, we feel like we got to get back to, you know, Wisconsin that, you know, we all grew up watching, that we all know, you know what I mean, and the team that dominates.
Well, speaking of hunting, Hunter Wohler is all about this theme, and following the trend, Wisconsin has allowed much more tackling and physicality at practices this year, which is a change from years past. Wohler says it better prepares them to go into full hunter mode.
It's football. That's at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. Is you have to hit, and there's a reason you play. If you didn't want to hit people, you wouldn't be playing this game. But no, I love it. I love it. I think it only makes us better. That way, you know, the 30th isn't the first time we're truly tackling. So I think it's great for us.
It is hard to believe how close football season is. High school football kicks off next week. The Badgers the week after, and Jordan Love and the Packers kick off 3 weeks from today in Brazil. For the Pack, they're spending this week doing their practice a little bit different. Out in the Mile High City, holding a joint practice with the Denver Broncos. Joint practices are something that Matt LaFleur really values, especially if it's against the right team.
Oh, I mean, joint practice is always, you know, there's just a lot of excitement and energy. Guys are ready to get after it and just go against somebody else.
This is a great opportunity to, again, go against maybe an unfamiliar opponent in regards to you're not seeing the same stuff every day in practice. So I think anytime you get these opportunities, these are as valuable as the preseason games.
And it's Players Weekend in MLB, which is why Willy Adames gets to use that sweet bat. And in the first inning, he'd use that fancy bat to hit a ball a long ways. Hits off the truck even in right center field. A 3-run home run for Adames, his 22nd homer of the season, and his 10th 3-run homer of the season would kickstart the Crew to a 5-3 win. It's only mid-August, and they've already got a 10-game lead in the NL Central. We'll be right back.
During the Labor Day Mattress Marathon at Ashley, take up to $1,200 off on select Beauty Rest Black adjustable sets. Plus, get up to $300 in free furniture, 60-month 0% interest financing, and free delivery. Going on now at Ashley.
We know the fentanyl coming from Mexico and China is a threat here in Wisconsin.
It's why Tammy Baldwin is working to stop it.
And Tammy passed the bipartisan Fend Off Fentanyl Act
that takes on the Mexican cartels and the fentanyl coming from China.
And Tammy Baldwin voted 32 times to strengthen our border.
32 times to increase border patrols.
And technology to keep illegal drugs out. Because Senator Baldwin knows
keeping us safe is her first priority.
Tell Tammy Baldwin to keep securing our borders.
Are you ready to make junk disappear?
I am so looking forward to this.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point. Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
We'll be there before you hang up the phone.
Shop from the largest selection of Chevy trucks and SUVs in Wisconsin at Bergstrom Chevrolet. All with Bergstrom's negotiation-free upfront pricing, including our exclusive 7-day price protection and money-back guarantees. Stop in or shop and purchase at BergstromChevrolet.com.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message.
There's a side of Eric Hovde you might not know. In his 20s, he was diagnosed with MS, and in that moment, his life and priorities changed. Eric started Hovde Homes. Hovde Homes rescue abandoned children from sex trafficking and slavery. For children who never experienced real love, Hovde Homes offer the love, care, and support they need to heal. MS changed Eric's life, and thousands of children are alive today because of it.
Some lucky fan will win 4 Packers season tickets for 1 year, all because of Packers scratch games from the Wisconsin Lottery.
But who will it be?
This could be Debbie's year.
That looks like someone who could win up to $50,000 in instant cash prizes.
But don't count out Tim.
Maybe he'll win one of the MVP tailgate experiences.
Then there's Raymond.
Legend.
4 Packers season tickets for 1 year could be his.
Or yours.
Ticket prices range from $1 to $10, available at Wisconsin Lottery retailers.
Sanctuary cities protect illegal immigrant criminals from being deported, like an illegal immigrant arrested for battery in Madison. Instead of being deported, he was released and went on to assault several more women, including a 13-year-old girl. Senator Tammy Baldwin voted 9 times to support federal funding for sanctuary cities that release dangerous illegals back back onto our streets. And Baldwin voted for amnesty for 11 million illegals, including criminals. Tell Senator Baldwin, stop protecting illegal immigrants and start protecting Wisconsin.
Have you been holding off on your appliance purchase? Wait no longer. Labor Day savings start now at Furniture and Appliance Mart. Get up to $3,000 in rebates on top appliance brands and special financing for 60 months at Furniture and Appliance Mart inside Ashley.
Kyle Pozorski, News 3 Now, weekend mornings, moving forward.
The Late Show will be live following the DNC in Chicago. Did they switch nominees again? Tune in to find out.
Colbert's in Chicago, starting Monday.
Finally tonight, several people took to the water in Belgium recently for a very unique boat race. Look closely and you'll notice these rafts are made of bathtubs. The colorfully decorated regatta is an annual tradition that goes back to 1982. Per regulations, the bathtub must touch the river. Teams can only use human force to move the rafts down the course, which is just over half a mile long. The event draws in more than 25,000 people, according to a local tourism website. Well, Blaze is back as we take one final check of the weekend forecast.
Yeah, maybe a few showers tomorrow. You can track them out using our weather app if you haven't downloaded it already. But I think most of us are actually going to stay dry, and it will be breezy. We'll see more sunshine as the day goes on. Plenty of sunshine, no rain in the forecast on your Sunday. Comfortable temperatures to start off next week, but we're going to end that week and then start off that following week in the mid to upper 80s. So we're going to be kind of flip-flopping temperatures and seasons.
Pretty nice, comfortable weather next week.
Not too bad.
And as you mentioned, high school football starts a week.
Absolutely. Thursday, we got a ton of games this year, and then Friday, we really kick off.
Well, looking forward to it. That definitely tells you what time of year it is. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 10, folks. We hope you have a wonderful weekend.